Aye. Any abstentions to the motion?
No.
Thank you, motion approved. Josephine, can you please read the agenda for us?
The next item on the agenda is the approval of the September 2025 full board meeting and the October 2025 committee minutes. Oh, okay, we're going to do roll call to confirm agenda. Stephen? We do have quorum. Diana's going to do it? Stephen, okay, Stephen, go ahead.
Paola Martinez,
Present.
Clarissa Layeto, Evelyn Alvarez, Deborah Aviles,
Speaker present.
Say present.
Gandhi Ambrose,
Present.
Daniel Barber,
Present.
Robert Barnes,
Present.
Jadine Ruxton, Cecil Brooks Jr., Stephanie Calzado, Carolyn Chamorro, Reyes Claudio, Maura Cosme, Christina Colbert,
Present.
Audrey De Jesus, Jacqueline De Jesus, Naisha Darabi, Edwin Diaz, Josephine Fernandez Byrne,
Present.
Brenda Goodwin, Christine Licata, Andres Madrigal, Delorme Memorin,
Present.
Argelia Ortiz, Emmanuel Padilla, Marilyn Pena,
Present.
Freddie Perez Jr.,
Present.
Amanda Perez,
Present.
Rosa Pinedo, Joyce Pocus, Jose Rodriguez, Mohammed Sheikh, Patricia Simpson, and Cesar Young.
Present.
Chair, we have quorum.
Thank you. Now we can move to item 5, which is approval of the September 2025 full board meeting minutes and October 2025 committee minutes. May I have a motion on the floor, please?
I'll make a motion to accept and approve the board minutes for October's committee as presented.
Any second?
I'm sorry, September and October as presented.
Any second?
Danny Barber seconds that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Now we go on to the public session. The speaker will be allowed to speak for 3 minutes each. Do we have Derek Guest in the house? Hi, Derek. You can step up to the mic, please.
Right here. Right, 3 minutes.
Is Mr. Francis going to speak?
The time will start as soon as your first word. Yeah. That's what. Give me the hotness today. I always said that today.
Good evening, all. My name is Derek Guest. I am one of the founders of a school education institution called the Learning Route. The Learning Route is a high school, also junior high school, which will facilitate young people from the grades of 6 to 12. And what we want to do with this high school is make an opportunity for our community as well as the youth to be able to gain vocational as well as careers that would basically entail them getting 4-year to 2-year degrees in things such as medical coding, nursing, as well as something as simple as an orderly, working in hospitals. So we're looking to connect with places such as the community boards to do events in the community, health events, community events, where we're going to have kids learning from EMTs and other people who work in the industry to be able to not only just get a high school diploma, but actually come out with a marketable skill. Too many of our youth, particularly in the South Bronx, which I'm also from, go to high school, and by the way, I'm also an educator and a teacher, so I understand this from many different angles. Go to high school, come out with a high school diploma, and if they are not ready to go to college, they're usually going to get a low entry or starting entry job, which, as we know, if you look at the news these days with automation, those jobs are going away. So we want to give our kids opportunities to get a high skill trade or a marketable skill in which when they come out of high school, they instantly will be able to get a job. And if they want to, let's say, start as an EMT and then move on to be a nurse or a doctor, they still will be able to take care of themselves and their families, and then decide to make that career change. So I'm here to talk to partners, as I said, from the community board as well as Lincoln Hospital, but also my community that we have in the audience today. Those who want to connect with us on different events, where we were going to have kids out, come into potentially the school that we want to build in this neighborhood, and then build partnerships and a cycle of people that we're going to send out to the community, but help the community, and then also come back to the community and help us build strong, educated people that will help our community be successful.
Thank you very much. Your time has expired.
Thank you, Mr. Guest.
Thank you.
Any questions, first from the board members? Okay.
Hi,
State your name.
sure. My name is Joyce Elkins. I'm a committee leader of the Education Youth Young Adult Services.
Yes.
My question is, have you done the research to see what existing programs and schools already are present in this area to determine if you could potentially partner with what's already existing? Because as an employee of the DOE and someone who is a part of CTE and someone who knows of the pathways, which is rooted in students having options, post-secondary options, both collegiate and career, a lot of what you're saying already exists. And this area is also inundated with a lot of charters and small schools, so I'm wondering if there's any consideration into partnering versus building anew, because there's not that many kids either. So that's my review.
Well, I agree with you. There are some existing, but just because something exists or is present doesn't mean it's successful. I actually am a teacher in a school that provides health careers. As I said, the problem with that is not all of the students are willing to go to a 4-year school. And then, to your argument, CTE, to what level? My school that I work at provides EMT, but it's not enough for the amount of students who may be in that school or be able to get an EMT job. So for instance, you have to have a 70, score 70 on the EMT test. There is no curve or anything like that. So what happens to those kids who can't, do that? What other options are we providing? As opposed to medical coding, that's a little bit more flexible when you come to that particular profession. So what we want to do is, yes, there are others that exist. As I said, we are open to partnership, but we're also knowing that there's a better way to make the wheel roll. There are many wheels. There are many different cars. Car lots or different, industries that do something similar doesn't mean that we can't make a better widget or a better car than what is already out there.
Thank you, Mr. Guest. Any other questions? I would recommend, oh, I'm sorry, Cesar. Cesar, state your name.
So I want to,
Name.
State your name. Tu nombre.
I know, Cesar Jog, committee board member. That's a question. I used to work with youth that were in the criminal justice system. So you have the Fortune Society, you have the Osborne Association, and they also need these type of things. Would you collaborate with them to have more of those youth be involved with these things?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me again make myself perfectly clear. I am open to multiple partnerships. This is a community school, right? We want to work with the community. We're not saying, well, hey, we're going to build something here. Like I said, I'm from the South Bronx. I want to work with people who may know things that I don't know, and know how to do things better than I do when it comes to different areas. So to answer long and short, yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Guest. My name is Daniel Barber,
How are you?
and I'm the Public Supportive Housing Committee Chair. This particular school that you're speaking of,
Yes,
is it a charter school?
it is not.
So will it be registered with the DOE?
It will not. It's a nonprofit school. It will be a nonprofit school. One thing I don't know if anybody knows, I'm sure some people do, but if you're unaware, there's a cap on charter
Yes, we know.
in New York City. So that's number one. When I found that out, I thought that, this would be an opportunity because it's a nonprofit to have more flexibility when working with the community. Because working with the DOE and my fellow DOE staff member and people who understand this, it's a lot of policies and red tape. Even with charter, there's a lot of policies and red tape. As a nonprofit, coming in with a little bit more flexibility, there's more things that we can do. For instance, I can hire someone who is a freelance EMT person to teach my kids about EMT. You can't do that in DOE. You can't do that in charter. Please.
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure people are not like.
After the meeting,
Information
yeah.
About who can actually have access.
After he finished, then you can.
Okay, so I'll say that again. I also work there too, right? So I have worked in the DOE and the public sector for some time. You can't just have someone come from outside, right? Without taking steps and going through certain red tape to teach our children. That is a fact, right? I'm saying we will have more flexibility. I didn't say that no one can do that in the DOE, but you're gonna have to go through a whole lot more to do it. You won't have to do that with us.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Guest. I would recommend that you come to, we have several committees that would probably interest you. Education and youth for one, communications is another. We have several committees and we can parley afterwards and give you the dates for those committees.
And yes, I've been to some of your meetings already.
Oh, great,
Thank you.
great.
And I'd love to come to more, yes.
All right. I think we're going to go a little bit out of order and introduce Senator Serrano, who would like to speak. Oh, it's going to use the podium. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to Community Board One for having me here tonight. My name is Senator Jose Serrano. I represent the 29th Senate District, which covers parts of the Bronx and East Harlem. I'm chair of the Majority Conference and chair of the Committee on Cultural Affairs, Tourism, and Parks, and a resident of this area. I live on the Grand Concourse, and very grateful for the work that Community Board One does for all of the residents here. And we have a community that's ever changing. There's a lot of new development going on in CB1. But one of the things that I care very deeply about, one of the things that is of the utmost importance, is environmental justice for our communities and health disparities. With that in mind, earlier today, I was part of a press conference with Governor Hochul, and we met at the New York Commons Pantry, and we were there with our fellow elected officials, colleagues in government, Reverend Al Sharpton and others, to talk about the potential devastating effect of cuts to the SNAP program due to the federal shutdown. These issues are extremely problematic, and they're not theoretical, they're existential, because come 48 hours from now, there's a real possibility that folks who rely on SNAP benefits for nutrition may not be able to receive them. This is a real travesty in as far as the federal government is concerned, in particular those who are responsible for the shutdown. And this is the first time that I can remember that a shutdown involved the elimination of SNAP. There's always been some sort of a provision to ensure that nutritional programs can continue to move forward. Unfortunately, that is not the case right now. One of the things that Governor Hochul mentioned this morning was that she, along with all of us on the state level, are going to allocate $106 million to try to make up for the elimination of SNAP and those EBT benefits. But it's important to keep in mind that $106 does not make up for the $650 million that monthly the federal government sends to the state of New York for SNAP. Now, why is this important? Obviously, there's tremendous reasons why this is problematic, but I go back to my original statement about health disparities. Our community suffers from so many preventable disease, diabetes, hypertension, high incidence of stroke and heart attack, things that Lincoln Hospital fights every day and has boots on the ground to try to mitigate. But so many of these issues are caused by a direct link to lack of healthy foods. We live in many ways a food desert. We live in a community that doesn't have as many supermarkets and access to fresh produce. But even so, the ability to purchase these items is going to be severely hampered by the loss of SNAP. And it makes no sense, because not only will it eliminate the ability for people to buy food, but it will hurt the businesses, the supermarkets, the farmers upstate New York, who will not have the opportunity to sell their food in our community. It will go to waste, and it will have devastating effects. So I can talk about legislation that I've passed and other things that I've been doing in the community and sort of give you a general community report, but I have to be very honest that I really think that there isn't anything right now that's more existential in the crisis than what is potentially happening on the federal government and how this affects SNAP. And I'll keep the board informed of any progress. Hopefully this ridiculous shutdown will be resolved before tomorrow night, and that the flow of funding for programs like SNAP will go. I'm grateful to my colleagues in government for the $106 million. I'm grateful for the pantries. But, you know, we all know that the pantries were already stretched to the limit. Even before the shutdown, there's food insecurity in our community. So this is not anything new. But I think it is immoral to know that this is happening, and I wanted to just sort of convey that to CB1, because I know that the very essence of this community, and I'm very grateful to all the board members, but this community board has been at ground zero of issues like health disparities and food insecurity. This is the South Bronx. This has really been the place most hard hit by poverty and all these issues. So I hope that we will get things going. We're going to keep the pressure on. But I'm grateful for the board for giving me the opportunity to speak. I know there's a long agenda, so I won't stay on this podium here. But if anyone wants to speak to me on the side, I'm more than happy to answer any additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator, for your words, and thank you so much for standing with elected officials and with members of the community this morning. As the Senator said, the governor announced additional funding, which will be allocated for two major programs that New York State has. One of them is HIPNAP New York, and the other one is Nourish New York. So Nourish New York funds farmers that are able to then, sell those products to organizations that are able to bring them to the city. New York State is an agricultural state, although it doesn't look like that in the South Bronx or in Harlem. And then HIPNAP New York funds for food pantries. And as the Senator said, the resources that our food pantries have is not enough. And it's not just about the food, it's about the infrastructure. So we commend Governor Hochul for allocating those additional funding, $106 million. But again, that's not a long-term solution considering the impact that these decisions have. And we know that we have to call elected officials on the Republican side to encourage them and push them to make the right decision for New Yorkers, while at the same time we're dealing with smaller crises in our district, like the Mitchell houses, folks there that still don't have gas and are in very much need of support. So, Senator, if before you leave the meeting, if you could hear the remarks that, Danny Barber has, he's being on the ground with the Tenants Association on this topic. We really want your support there as well.
Sure.
Danny?
So, good evening. First and foremost, I want to personally thank Chairwoman Martinez and Mr. Jordan and Community Planning Board 1, Ms. Josephine. You guys were exceptional. You guys were true ambassadors for goodwill. When the chimney fell, hours after it hit the ground, you guys came running. Paola, you opened up all of your resources. Ms. Deborah Vilas came over from Mount Haven Houses. The love and support for that community was there, as New Yorkers always do through times of tragedy. And it's still there because Paola and her colleagues at work, along with Community Planning Board 1, have stepped up and committed to making sure that the residents of Mitchell Houses will have hot meals daily until the holidays. And then after Thanksgiving, we can worry about that once we cross that road. So just real quick, incident description. Just after 8 a.m. on 10/1/2025, an incident was reported at Mitchell Houses, Building 4, 205 Alexander. Early reports are an explosion in the building's chimney. Known impacts: partial collapse of the chimney, cooking and heating gas shut down by Con Edison, heating and hot water offline, no water in buildings 1 through 5, and building 10 due to water main collapse under building chimney. 2 water stations are set up and NYCHA was also distributing bottled water. No reports of any injuries or any individuals, fatalities, or anything of that sort. F and G lines of the building 4 have been evacuated as assessments were ongoing. As of 10/1, NYCHA's response, NYCHA was on site and coordinating with responding agencies, elected partners, and other stakeholders, such as Richie Torres, Vanessa Gibson, and the rest of the electeds that came out. NYCHA is proactively planning to relocate households in the F and G lines and hotels for at least 2 nights. It wound up being over a week that they had them placed. All apartments received hot plates and pressure cookers due to no gas. The latest update, as of 4 p.m. on 10/27, all households who receive hotel stays are back in their apartments. They all picked up their keys. Heat and hot water are online, but gas remains out at this time. Although NYCHA has a mobile boiler to provide the hot water, it has another mobile boiler to provide the heat, and there's a third mobile boiler there just in case. But 100% of the development is not receiving heat, and 100% of the development is not receiving hot water. NYCHA's distribution systems are old as the buildings are, so if that boiler's pushing 250 PSIs of pressure, the water coming from the basement from the mobile boiler is at 140. By the time it gets upstairs to the 16th, 17th floor, that water is about 45, 50 degrees. And no one takes into effect, sir, that we live in concrete shelters. These buildings were built like bunker shelters. And there's no insulation in between the brick and the inside wall. That's just a pocket that holds all the cold air. So if it's 45 degrees outside and we're supposed to get heat, we don't get it. But when it's 66 outside and we're not supposed to get heat, our apartments feel like we're in an oven and all we need is an apple in our mouth and turn us over and we'll be done. It's not fair. It's not fair. And those residents are taking a harder hit. So I appreciate the governor's commitment and everyone else's commitment, but the elected officials in the city and the state of New York have to step up more than they've ever stepped up in their life. Because these individuals, if we look at Mitchell houses, we can just cross over to 163rd at McKinley houses, who has been without gas longer than Mitchell houses. And there hasn't been any conversation to make sure that they can get hot meals. Because the chimney fell and we all empathize and sympathize with what they're going through, we have to show the same sympathy and empathy across the board with all the residents. They live here, this is where they call home, this is all they can afford. With all the housing everybody's building, they keep saying affordable. What's affordable for you has never been affordable for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Danny, and thank you so much, Senator. You know, I think the message has been very clear. If we could just reemphasize that at some point, especially after the holidays, we really would like to convene folks around NYCHA in the South Bronx and the needs of residents. And more than ever, your support for programs like HIPNAP and Nourish New York are, needed. If you wanted to say some words.
If I may, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Barber, and for your remarks. And as you were speaking, Mr. Barber, I was thinking about just sort of the level of mismanagement in NYCHA. For instance, in last year's state budget, we allocated $225 million to NYCHA. And you may say, okay, that's, good, a good start considering the billions of dollars of need. But then it's also about the management. You can put as much money as you can, but if it's not being managed properly, and that's what I'm trying to uncover more about. Throughout my career, I've given capital funds to NYCHA for security lighting, for playgrounds, for other items. But again, I'm trying to sort of figure out the conduit for either the lack of repairs, the delays, elevators, boilers, roofs, pipes inside apartments, heat, hot water. It's almost remarkable that the amount of commitment that, everyone sort of agrees that we need to do this, but yet the management or the ability to sort of make these things happen, I think is where the big problem is. So I certainly want to learn more about how I can be helpful and different ways to do it. My parents grew up in public housing in the 1950s. When they arrived in public housing, they had just built them. My mom was in Forest. My dad was in Millbrook. And listening to my parents say it, it was such an improvement over the tenements that they were living in, having come from Puerto Rico at that time. And there was green space, and there was room, and there was bedrooms, and there were things of that nature. But lack of investment over the years, year after year, decade after decade, it not only deteriorates these buildings, as Mr. Barber said, that they, constructed in a way that they need constant maintenance. But also, I worry about asbestos. None of these buildings have fire escapes on the outside. There's a reason. Because they were built with fireproofing material that we know today is toxic. And when that chimney went down, I was very nervous about air quality in that area. Because I lived through 9/11. We all, a lot of us of a certain age, we remember how people were told incorrect facts about air quality. So I do think that all of these are important. Information is important, but certainly I stand ready to take direction from all of you, from this board, on ways that I could do a better job in facilitating and ensuring that we work together to get a better, and this is a wake-up call. And it could have been worse. Thank God nobody was injured, but it could have been so much worse. And I certainly will meet with you and convene anything that I can do to find a better way to be a better advocate for NYCHA.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
He asked the question, sorry, he asked the question. And you guys, the solution, and the residents have only been saying this for years. You guys give NYCHA money. You guys earmark the monies, and the monies have to be used for certain things. NYCHA, you get no more money unless you put together an oversight committee with the Citywide Council of Presidents, along with other residents, and that's true transparency and accountability. We did a meeting at 90 Church Street, the Citywide Council of Presidents Board, 9 resident leaders. The salary was 0. Now, the NYCHA's whole operation staff, from the CEO, Lisa Bova Hyatt, to the secretary in the office, $5-point-something million. NYCHA's too top heavy. Trim the fat. Trim the fat.
Thank you so much, Senator. We will follow up with your office. Thank you, and thank you so much. Enjoy your time at Somos if you're planning to go there, and we look forward to a very productive legislative season. Because the budget is gonna be tough. We know that.
Yes, it's gonna be a tough one.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tell him to put money in there for public housing, because Carl hasn't given public housing no money in the last 4 or 5 years.
Got it. Will do. Thank you so much. And also, one last thing, if other capital needs throughout the community or programmatic needs that CB1, you guys are such an important layer of knowing where the needs are, schools, playgrounds, public housing. Please feel free to convey that to my office so that we can know when the budget starts, it moves really fast. And I want to make sure that I'm advocating properly for the needs in CB1, so please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do that.
Yes.
Executive.
Yes.
Thank you, Senator. We will resume the public session. Is Kevin Stone in the house? Kevin Stone? No. Joseph Cordero?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Joseph Cordero. I'm the assistant principal at PSMS 31. The school is located on 156th Street, on the backside of Claremont Village, on the side of Melrose Houses. And I came here today to talk a little bit about the school. I am actually a retired principal from the Harlem Children's Home, the longest serving principal that they ever had. And I decided to retire, and then I decided to come back out of retirement, and I decided to come back into the DOE, and I decided to come to the South Bronx because I grew up in the Bronx. And one of the things I came to realize very quickly is the level of inequity that does exist within our community. And the truth is that we have a lot of work to do and a lot of trust to make. I know that there's a huge difference in terms of the marketing and the branding of what goes on between the public school system and the charter school system, but I'm gonna tell you today that the school that I'm at is truly a special school. About a third of the staff has been there about 20 odd years. That's odd within itself. What's even more incredible is that we have about a dozen of the staff that actually went to elementary school there. And we have a number of the staff that have their own children that attend there. We have robust bilingual programs, which are so important. And I'm not talking about the programs where the teacher is speaking in English and there's somebody on the side speaking in Spanish to the kids that don't understand English. I'm talking about a fully interactive academic experience that is providing a level of rigor that's going to allow these kids to do well. Something else that we're doing that we don't ever really talk about is that we actually take the time to figure out what schools our kids are going to go to after us. So our parents and our community don't necessarily understand the level of the schools that they're sending their kids to, whether it's just going to be a holding area or they're actually going to shift the trajectory of their family. And so we're spending time doing that. We've already had a homecoming, which is very unheard of for an elementary school, where we have people coming back from all the way from the early 70s, staff and students alike, to come to the school to visit. Just last night, we had 150 students and parents and 13 high schools. We had our own high school fair that we cultivated and that we culled the list so that we ensured that schools that were not performing were going to make sure that they were going to be good schools for us.
20 seconds, Mr. Cordero.
Yes, ma'am. So that being said, we have our next open house on November 12th at 5:30. We have also one on a Saturday, which is November 22nd at 10 a.m. And most importantly, proof is in the pudding. Tell your friends, tell your parents, if they want to come and see the school, all they got to do is ask for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you bring any flyers with you?
I did. I left flyers up on the back table for folks to be
All
able
right,
to take.
so you're mostly were just informational, letting us know about your program
Yes, ma'am.
and everyone. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Cordero? Having none, we're moving on to the next speaker, which is Mr. Herman Francis.
Greetings, everyone.
Hold on, Mr. Francis. I know.
What is it, it's 3 minutes?
Yeah, oh, and RG is here, RG is here.
Greetings, everyone. Due to the federal budget not being enacted, Social Security is closed. When you go there, only people you're gonna see there is security, and they give you a sheet of paper. Well, you have to go ahead and get the information that you're looking for yourself. Now, why is this so important? Because New York City House Authority, also known as NYCHA, it's the time of the year where they recertify the residents on what the income is, they can set up the rent base. So don't be shocked now when you get to Social Security, and nobody deal with security. Also, talking about that food basket is very interesting I find, well, how did the 3 largest supermarkets in New York State shut down? A&P, Walmart, and Pathmark. Then before that, it was Safeway. Then France. You know, something, that's why we lack food around here. And one last thing, we got an election coming up next year for governor. This past Tuesday, the state commissioner of reparations came to Brooklyn. This is gonna be a hot issue next year about reparations, because due to one factor, Wall Street. You have a blessed evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Francis. The next speaker is Mr. David Hopper.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. My name is David Hopper. I am organizer with Common Justice. Common Justice is an alternative to incarceration organization based in Brooklyn, where we service all 5 boroughs. Me, myself, I'm from Harlem, but was raised in the Bronx, all around the 10459 and 10456 area. So today I want to say thank you, board, for giving me a moment. But today I'm here to speak about a cohort that we have at Common Justice. Just to give you a little background, I don't have a lot of time, but here we go. Our organization develops and advances solutions to violence that transform the lives of those who are harmed and focus on racial justice without relying on police or incarceration. We are particularly interested in working with folks who participate in the local community boards, pretty much folks like we have here today, who have survived violence and or caused harm. We also have a monthly forum every 4th Wednesday that we focus on community-based solutions to violence as well. I'm just gonna read off our flyer, give you some more insight on what it is. We have a paid 8-week session program. We'll provide community members with the knowledge needed to start new conversations about crime and violence, and with tools to create media that changes the way people think about policing, incarceration, and the need for alternatives. Over the course of 4 months, we will learn how to drive policy decisions about public safety throughout communities all over New York City. The deadline was November 1st, but with some convincing, we let our higher ups know that we need to extend it and let more people know and inform them. So it is actually extended to November 10th. I have some flyers and I'll be here for the duration if anybody wants to talk to me or get more information. And we also do workshops and trainings, of course, free for the community that deal with community-based solutions to violence, as well as narrative change. When we're talking about how journalists speak about Black and brown people in the community when it comes to violence, it's usually from a negative standpoint. Our workshop works and informs individuals how to 30 seconds, okay. How to notice these negative stories, and not only how to notice them, but actually how to calm down them with letters to the editor as well as op-eds. So thank you so much for giving me time, and I'll be here for the duration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hopper. The flyers are these, and they're in the back if you want, and Mr. Hopper said he's going to remain after the meeting if you want to speak to him. You have a question? Okay, that concludes the public session. Now we go into voting items. And the first one is from the applications from the public Committee of Licenses.
Thank you. We had an establishment come to the committee. My name is Robert Barnes, Chair of the Committee on License and Permits. We had the establishment come to the committee for a renewal application. The establishment is Mama Tala Restaurant, located at 582 Morris Avenue. License number 25-123-927-01. The committee members voted, in favor of approving the renewal license and would like to present it to the full board for approval of sending a letter of support to the state liquor authority.
Any questions about this establishment from the board members? Mr. Barber?
Have there been like any reports from the police department about any inconsistencies, any illicit acts or anything going on?
No, there have not been any reports, no 911 or 311 reports.
And how long? And how long has this restaurant been an establishment?
They've been at the location for 2.5 to 3 years at the location.
And what's the location?
The location is 582 Morris Avenue. It's right off, the corner of, what's the property that's right across from the,
I think it's like 150.
it's right across from the fish market that's,
Kim's? Yes.
yeah, yes, exactly.
Right across the street.
150,
Yeah.
150.
Okay, that's on the corner.
Yeah, Mama Tala's, like the little Dominican Spanish cuisine.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
Having no questions, can someone make a motion to approve the renewal application license for Mama Tala Restaurant?
Ambrose make a motion to approve the application of Mama Tala.
Second? Second by Cesar. Any opposition? All in favor? Say aye. Aye. Motion is passed. All right, the park naming, the Municipal Services Committee, Mr. Ambrose.
Yes. Thank you. Good evening. We had a two issue on the agenda at the time. There was a park naming and also, there's a park naming, also a street naming. Now, the park naming is on 144th Street, 144 and 146 on River Avenue by what you call it, Bronx Old Terminal Market. All right, so there was brought two names were proposed to us by the park. There was a Mentipat Park and also this one called Cromwell Creek Park. We had a lot of discussion about the issue because we wanted the name that reflect the community. And we come to find out that exactly the two names that were proposed to us were the initial name that the first habitant of the area had. So we voted on Mentipat Park because there was a creek, and I personally had this issue with a creek. We don't have a creek anymore. And our children today, if we're going to talk about creek, calling an area creek, they have to actually see the creek. So we decided to go with Mentipat Park name. So that's what we proposed to the park department to name that particular area. And the second item was, voting item was the street code naming. Again, we did not vote in favor because the person that was to be named, co-named in the area did not meet the criteria. We do have in the CD1 some criteria. Oh, yes, they come out with 150 names as usual, but you must have had an impact in the community. You must have done something that somebody can use as an example. So really, there is none of the criteria were met except the 150 name minimum that was brought to us, signature name that was brought to us. So we did not vote in favor of the street co-naming. Thank you.
So we have two motions. The first motion is the park renaming, and the second is the street co-renaming. So we'll go one at. So we're going to approve the street.
I, Danny Barber, make a motion to accept the committee's name, the Menti Path Park, for 144th and 46th Street.
That is the city's the committee's recommendation. Second,
second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None so. Motion passes. So the street co-naming. The committee voted against the street co-naming. The family member has the right to move on to the next level if she wants to. So can I have a motion to accept the committee's recommendation to deny the street co-naming? Anybody make a motion?
I'll be the devil. I, Danny Barber, make a motion to accept the committee's recommendation not to move forward at this time with the street co-naming.
Anybody second?
Second.
Seconded. All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I abstain.
And any abstentions?
Yes, one.
One. Any abstentions? Three. Okay. So with the abstentions, does that?
The motion.
The motion still passes. Thank you. All right, now we're moving to the public safety report. We have the 40th precinct. PSA 7 first, or 40th precinct? Okay.
Let me put my stuff. How's everyone doing tonight? Thank you for having the 40 precinct. I'm gonna go over some of the numbers, but I'm just gonna give you an overall. At first, just give you a perspective on crime. We're doing a lot of really good work in the 34 precinct. Overall crime in all major categories are down, except a slight uptick on birds. We're fighting 14 birds, and I'm gonna go through the list right now. So, this is a 20-day period in comparison to last year's. So we're looking at felony assaults, we're 81 versus 83. So we're down, murder, we're down 1 versus 2. We just had 199 at Alexander, made the news, talk about that. Robberies, we're down 38 versus 45. Grand larcenies, as well as GLAs, we're down 10 versus 16 for the period. Now, now burglaries, we're fighting 14. Looks like the majority of the burglaries are like commercial burglaries that we're dealing with. So for the period, we took about 12. And that includes trucks and the classified burglaries. Now, out of all the entirety of 34 versus 20, we have a total of 10 of the 34 are already closed out to arrest, and out of that, 6 are domestic incidents. So aside from that, we're doing pretty good. Any questions?
Any questions?
Let me cover down one more thing, so just so you guys have it on record. When it comes to housing, right? 'Cause I don't got specifics on housing. However, overall housing for the period, we took 36 versus 38. So we're down to 5.2% overall crime.
Any stats? Oh, sorry, Cesar.
Push it up.
We have someone on the floor that's asking a question.
Push it up.
Hello? Yeah, my name is.
Answer the question first.
Yeah, the question is, has to do with,
Somebody had a question, right?
yeah, here. Okay, so there's been a lot of people walking around in the neighborhood, and then there are like cops at the intersections, and they have illegal biking. I mean, the motorcycles, they
Yes,
just
7.
passed we call it the light. They passed the light and there's nothing being done about it. They just, I'm not sure what's happening with that, but I've seen it a couple of times. And then I've seen the cops just stay there and they don't do much.
All right, just to respond, so you're referring to a specific location. Afterwards, just approach me, but I'll tell you overall, I personally placed, individuals under arrest, right, for that specific location down in Mitchell houses, all the place. We're enforcing those, two-wheel, illegal two-wheel and traffic infractions. So as it relates to enforcement, we're actually up overall in enforcement. So for quality of life specifically, let me look here. So we have an overall enforcement, let's say this year, 2,224 versus 1,718. So we're up by 306 total criminal court summonses. The majority of those reckless e-bikes and bicycles do fall under that category of C summonses. So maybe you could see me afterwards, and I'll make note of it, and I'll look into it for you, specifically to whatever location you're looking at. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Yes, Pat Simpson.
It's on.
I wanted to ask you, you mentioned something about housing. I wanted to know if the 4-0 precinct is working inside the NYCHA developments, or are you just working on the other side of that area?
So what you're talking about is the distinction between whether we just stay outside of housing and just let housing take over. So I'll tell you this. Overall, I have a weekly meeting with the special operations team. And I would tell you this, we're actually doing joint operations, and any upticks, one, with 311s, any of those 311 locations, I'll tell you, Patterson, Mount Haven, we've done a joint with operation where we join together with PSA 7 Q teams, and we go out there and address any of those quality of life complaints, whether it be from the community. Then we go out there and we look for any of these issues and we address it together. So we're actually working with housing in order to address any of the conditions, and any upticks in crime. Immediately we deploy in conjunction if it's in any one of the housing developments in the 4 precinct.
Okay, so we can come to you guys that's out there when we have a problem in the development, because since they shut down the hub, all of those people are now in the developments. And then we have all those scaffolds up. It's a lot of problems because they're inside our buildings.
And just to briefly let you know, so as far as it goes with the hub and the shutdown of the hub, we have a hub team directly specifically for that area, right? It runs from 148 all the way up to 152, 153 on 3rd Avenue. It goes from Bergen all the way up to the Common. So I can tell you specifically is right this second, we've already done numerous operations. Just to give you some statistics as it relates to the operation in the hub, for the 28-day period, we have the hub team members have effectuated 53 arrests. All right, 14 moving summonses, that could be bicycles as well, 19 criminal court summonses, and 5 oaths. Now, as it relates to some of the displacement conditions due to the fact that now individuals have gone outside, we actually did a narco sales operation on October 2nd. On that, and it was a location, is 147 on Willis Avenue. So based on the last meeting that we had, we took action there. We effectuated 4 arrests, 2 of which were dealers and 2 buyers. So we're doing the best we can with what we have. Now, as it relates to you coming to the precinct or basically referring your complaint to one of the officers, you can approach any one of the officers, whether it be housing and or the 4 precinct officers, and we can address it.
Okay, I'll follow up with that. Thank you.
Yeah, here, RG, here, someone.
My name is Jaden Buxton. So I actually live on 147th Street, and I wanted to know more information about how community members are able to put in these quality of life complaints. So on my street, 147th, there's been a trail of blood. I want to say maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks now, and it hasn't been cleaned. I know that there was an incident that happened, but it didn't make the news, such as other incidents that you state. There's been a couple times that that's happened because I've looked for it to see, what happened in the area. It wasn't reported on Citizens, which is like a community app, and it didn't make like the local media. So the trail of blood goes all the way around from 147th Street, I believe that's Bergen, and then it goes down 148th Street, that there was an incident that made the news for some shooting there, and then it goes right back down on Willis. So as a community member, how would I don't know, call city cleanup? Like, what do we do in that case? Because I live in an apartment building, but there's private houses that they were tasked with cleaning the blood off of their property.
So as far as any incident where we have, let's say we'll set up, that falls under the purview of sanitation. Now, you can call 911, even if we respond, we're gonna get the resources there to clean up the, whatever blood or whatever other, condition is there.
Did you call 311 and complain?
I did not. Also, so speaking on the hub area with the 149, I've been a member of that community, I want to say for 2 years now. So ever since you guys shut down and put the police monitoring station there, the people who are going through whatever they're going through, they've actually dispersed down to my area too. So 147, they shoot up in front of my building.
If you don't mind me asking, 147 what?
It's 147 in between Bergen and Willis.
Understood.
Yeah, so they shoot up in front of my building. It's day and night. They're there all the time. But also I see them still maintaining their stations behind the police station that you guys have set up, and then also on the corner of 149 and 3rd Avenue. So I know that you guys have police officers stationed there for a purpose, but it's like, I don't necessarily see them doing anything for the surrounding area where the people haven't moved.
So since the induction of that hub site, right, it's a multi-agency approach to the conditions in the area now. That's on July 10th, approximately, that's when it started. Since that date, right, we have a log, and that specific hub THB, that's where other agencies come and we do operations. I have a total script that we constantly working, sanitation's coming out to clean it up. You might not see it, so when you're around, you might see those individuals in the back. They're normally waiting for food. Because we have a food pantry that sets up at that location as well. Behind it, like more towards like, I would say Willis to Bergen, that area. And then now recently, like I would say like 2 days ago, I go there daily. And they actually set up on 3rd Avenue just because there's more lighting there. So, I mean, we have, a lot of other resources, and that might attract some of those individuals that they get displaced. But like we have homeless services come out there, I give you the full script next time around if you want. But I would suggest, right, 147th Street, right, what is it, Willis to Bergen, right, make those calls, 311, our 311 Q team responds, right, and that's how we're gonna be able to address those conditions. You go on 311, you could do it on the phone, and see one of my Q team members after. We'll give you some coordinated instructions how to do it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I want to also emphasize that if you have a 311 number and you have an F4 incident and your issue has not been resolved, please feel free to reach out to the community board. We can expedite the issue if it has not been resolved. So feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.
But you have to also emphasize on the use of 311.
And
Yes.
Because we can't be complaining, not making the call. It's
But
very
when I have
important.
called 311 for different incidents, I've been hung up on, I've been spoken to very rudely, I've asked for the person's name and they refuse to give it to me.
Can I make a suggestion? If you can connect, perhaps, Gloria, you can give us some guidance as to who she can connect with. We can figure it out internally to see who's someone that you should be reaching out to. Okay, because we know it's difficult to navigate. Sometimes you call these numbers and it depends on the mood of the worker that day.
I've called 911 and they
Yes.
hung up on me before.
Yes.
So it's like, it's discouraging when you try to report something. When I called 911, there was someone breaking into the post office off of, underneath that train station. The dispatcher hung up on me. Yeah, St. Anne's. They were breaking into the little box. And she's asking me for my information. I told her I want to report anonymously because at the time I'm still in the car while I'm watching these people on a motorcycle break into the box. Because I told her I wanted to report anonymously. She hung up on me. say those people on the motorcycle would have followed the car because now they just had a hunch that I called the cops on them. Then what?
Now, as far as that goes, like, you know, whatever issues you've had in the past, that might not be, I don't want you to get discouraged from calling 911. You have to call if it's 911 condition or if it's 311 condition, call so that we can actually expedite the response as soon as we can. Now, if you want to remain anonymous, you can, and like I said, maybe see one of my officers, community affairs after the fact, you know, so we can figure out what happened at that specific time when you called with the dispatcher, right?
Okay, thank you.
Please, may I please?
Mr. Evans?
No, yes, really, this is really an issue in our community. And I'm gonna say this is that all call coming from the Bronx to 911, that can be traced, every single border. Now, if you having this problem, if you did not express that to us right now, somebody else may have it. And I think that we, the community board, I think we need to have a conversation with the 311 management, because many of us may be going through this. It's very discouraging. We're not using it because it's not helping us. And I think that these are the things that we need to bring this to the agency, that some calls have been hung up. And also, let's keep in mind, every single call that comes in is recorded. Every single call that comes into 311 is recorded. If we do not request those, they're gonna keep doing it. So we need to get used to now complaining to the agency, telling them call have been hung up in our community. Because how are we going to be able to use the system if the system cannot work in our favor? So I think for some reason, Mr. Chair and District Manager, I think let's find if we can bring them into our community and have a conversation with them. Because we're getting too many of the, even one is too many. Because they are here to serve us. They will not do this on the west side. I'm telling you right now. The reason they will not do is because when that happened, they follow through with it. If that happened to you, you made a phone call, you record the time, we can take at least that one and be the one we can use to change the system in our favor. So let's get into this habit of something like that happen. You know the time you made a call, just write it down. Whoever hang up on you can be traced. It's not, this is America. I mean, everything is there. But let's don't just become a victim of our system by saying, okay, well, they won't do anything, so we can't do anything. Let's do something, make things happening in our community. Really, let's don't be a slave of our own system. Let's make the system work into our favor by complaining. And I say this all the time. We are the border that get less 311 call. How do we think the city works? The city works on government function on numbers. The more people complain, the more reaction. They become reactive. But if we don't say anything, they figure that we are comfortable where we are. Let's don't be a slave on our own system. Let's use the system to our favor. So therefore, any of these, let's do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambrose. We will invite the representative from 311 to the Municipal Services Committee, and we'll let that be known. I just have one comment for.
There's one more, Joseph.
Oh, but I want.
If you don't mind me, just, I say, like, I agree exactly what you're saying. One is one too many, but just to give you guys a overall perspective of how many calls we get. One is one too many, but as long as I've been there, this is the first time I hear about complaint where 911 operators is hanging up. We received a total in the 40th precinct in comparison from last year, right? This year, we received 79,000 calls, 911 calls. Out of that, last year was 68,000, which is the 10,905 increase from last year calls. When you're talking 79,000, and this is the first time I hear about it, I just want to let you know, this is something that we can address absolutely, but 911 operators day in, day out, and NYPD are doing the best we can, right? But that doesn't mean if it happens, I don't want you to stop. I need you to reach out to the precinct, come down to the command, right? Don't feel discouraged from calling 911. We need to work together, right?
I agree, we have the power, and like Mr. Ambrose said, the Bronx is one of the boroughs that has the least number of 311 calls. And it makes a difference, it really does, because numbers speak, I just want to say a positive term about the new program, because I have called 311 on many occasions, and they have come within an hour or 2 hours. Of course, it has to do with the severity of the crime, so if other things are more pertinent, they're going to deal with that as first, but I've had very good results, and officers have even called me to tell me that they're on the spot, and I look at my Ring camera and I can see them there, and they've gone through and ticketed the cars that need to be ticketed. I just want to say, as an observer in the community, we seem to have on 142nd Street or 141st Street and Willis, a consistent police presence, which is fine. I'm not complaining about that. What I am concerned about is that I don't want to see officers on their phone. I want someone to look up at me and acknowledge that I'm walking by. I always say, good evening, stay safe, how are you guys doing? And I know people get bored standing up on the corner, but still try to engage with the community the best you can. It doesn't show very positive when everybody's, delving into their phone or texting or whatever. And I know some of it has to do with business, because you do some of your reports and stuff online, that's fine. But it seems like every time I pass a police officer, they're on their phone.
On the phone, yeah.
Any other questions? All right, last question.
Hello? Oh, thank you. Hello. So just kind of touched on it. It's about the open air drug scene that's kind of prevalent, especially in this neighborhood. It's very heavy. There are a lot of programs that are really trying to do a really good job, right? Where they encourage people with heavy drug use or just really stuck in that environment to come towards the program. But a lot of programs are very specifically in this neighborhood. There are new programs opening up all the time, right? Closing here and there. But, the open air is very complicated, right? So on the block of 144 between 144 Cross Street Morris and what's this, right before the Metro North. In that little corridor right there, the T shape of Ryder, it's very heavy there. Narcotic use is so heavy. There's photos of drawers full of just syringes left in the street. An entire full drawer of syringes. There was a photo of that one. People that are tearing the garbage open on that block of 144 right before the parking structure of Gosford, and just leaving tons of garbage just in the street where when you're taking your kids to school or anywhere, you have to walk in the street or travel over just because either there's people that are apparently, hopefully alive. You do your best, people walk around with Narcan, but EMS can't be everywhere, they're overloaded with calls. And so I know, the posts are very structured on Morris Avenue and 144, but that corridor, and it's hard because there's even that little corner right there where there's a whole, candlelit vigil and all that stuff. It's hard to move that because it's a real community kind of standpoint, right? It's hard to do that. But there are people at a heavy area, people just hanging out there, and it's hard because when we're walking our children to school, they're no clothes on, butt out, passed out, bleeding out, and they're shooting up right in front of everyone. So it's kind of hard I know it's hard to police that area, but we have to figure out a better presence, even if there's people getting resources to that to kind of move from that area.
So I'll tell you, we just adjusted our school dismissal plan for the remainder of the year. And one of the things I would suggest is that it's a myriad of different factors involved in individuals still being on the streets and shooting up their kids and stuff like that. Call 911, we'll respond, right? And now as far as the adjustment of posts, honestly, we look at the crime and we prioritize based on violent crime as number one. That doesn't mean we're not going to address these conditions. We address it every day. You mentioned Narcan. We don't wait for EMS. We're actually trained in how to administer Narcan. I can't tell you since June 19th, since I got to this precinct, how many times these officers saved lives, specifically in that her hub location, which yours is probably a displacement of that. But like maybe now with these conversations, we can start taking some more multi-agency approaches in order to solve these conditions, because it's not always just policing. We'll respond, where we're gonna kick them out to. We're either gonna try to get them resources to come to the hospital if they need to, but if they refuse, and then we can't do anything about it. And that's not the answer though, because we're gonna try the best we can, right? So then just don't not call us because you feel like, okay, I'm going to school. Keep walking, call us, and we'll send resources. I also let my officers know about, maybe doing some directives at that location. So then we can have it in our program and we can respond and have more of a presence there. It's not gonna be a 24/7 presence. It's not gonna be like that, but specifically during, see one of my officers afterwards and just let them know what school is your kids in. So then we can, maybe, push some resources there, okay, as best we can.
Thank you, Captain.
I'll get back to you on that one. It's on my calendar. Honestly, I don't have it at the top of my head right now.
November 5th, PS5, Mr. Francis. November 5th, next Wednesday, 6:30. Thank you, Mr. Francis.
Mr. Francis, do that.
So, Mr. Francis, you can just see us afterwards. I'm gonna have one of my officers go to you, just give them all the information, and we're gonna be able to address that, okay?
Thank you, Captain.
No problem, anytime.
Do we have PS7 in the house?
PSA 7 is not in the house. I'm covering down. It is the precinct at the end of the day. We work in conjunction. So if any questions that may arise, I'll take note of it and we'll get back to you on it.
Thank you. The next item is the report for the elected officials. Do we have a representative from the mayor's office, Honorable Eric Adams?
None, ma'am.
None? The Bronx Borough President's Office, Vanessa M. Gibson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. My name is Bianca Stevenson, and I am the new rep for Community Board 1 from the Bronx Borough President's Office. I'm excited to meet everyone. This is like literally my third week, but I'm not new to community boards. I come to the Bronx from Brooklyn Community Boards, where I worked for 3 years. So hopefully I can be useful to you as you continue to liaise with the Bronx Borough President. So I just have three short events to announce. One is Kenny sent this one. He said to let everybody know that there's a Halloween party after that's going till whatever time, and that's at Sobro Gardens at 26 Brooklyn Boulevard. He said I should tell you guys about this. And that's also with the Bronx Borough President. Rezo A funding informational session, that's on November the 13th, 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Bronx Borough Hall Rotunda, and of course that all has to do with funding for schools. So if anybody's interested, I'd leave some flyers behind. And also, there's a celebration of Puerto Rican heritage. The Bronx Borough President is hosting this, and this is November the 13th. Doors open at 5:30 at La Bodega, 696 East 135th Street. And of course, I leave everything back there. Everyone is invited, and thank you very much. See you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to have you as the new liaison for our community board. And we really appreciate, you just taking the lead and hitting the ground running and showing up here. I had an opportunity to meet you last week during the interview with the borough president, and I was really impressed by your dedication to public service, having worked with Borough President Antonio Reynoso for so many years. So welcome to our community board, and we look forward to amazing work together.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Do we have someone representing the Honorable Richie Torres? Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tamar. I'm covering for my colleague Courtney. I'm here from the office of Congressmember Richie Torres. Just starting off, obviously, the government shutdown is now entering into November. The most urgent and immediate thing that's happening in November is that SNAP funding is going to be running out. The government does have a $5 billion contingency bucket through which they could be funding SNAP, but Donald Trump and the Republicans are choosing not to use that contingency fund and to let SNAP benefits run out starting in November. And so our office is here to provide assistance in any way that we can. We can refer you to food banks, to food pantries, as well as any other issues you're having with federal agencies. Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are still providing benefits. However, we do know there have been delays and slowdowns, and so we're here to help you navigate through that. Speaking about right here in the Community Board 1, the Mitchell House boiler explosion and the chimney collapse, Congressmember Torres has spoken out and has called on NYCHA to convert the gas provision in the building to electricity, which would be a safer, more efficient, energy efficient, cleaner way of providing energy in the building. And no NYCHA resident should ever have to live in fear of anything like this happening again. And so we're hoping to get electrification across all the Mitchell houses and then hopefully across more NYCHA buildings as we can. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to give our office a call. Our number is 718-503-9610.
Thank you. Can we ask all representative of the officials to stand over by the wall where Gloria is? So this way, when we call on you, it's much quicker for you to get up to the podium. Delaney, you have a question?
Yes. Hi, in regards to the electric stoves, and the push to get the electric stove, which I understand would be a long-term better plan. Do you know how long it would take to actually execute that goal?
I don't have that information, but if you'd like to call our office, we can have someone look into that.
Do you know if it's faster at least than the gas? Because I know the gas is going to be passed in January 2025.
I don't have further information beyond what I've been.
What? Do we have a representative from Honorable Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez in the House?
Yes.
Yes.
To share that
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nipa. I'm here from the Office of Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. My name is Nipa from the Office of Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. As my colleague from Rep. Torres' office mentioned that we're still in a shutdown. Today we're in the 30th day of the shutdown. And so we know that our constituents do have a lot of questions regarding the shutdown and with federal agencies. And so we created a FAQ for anyone with common questions and answers. I do have flyers on the table over there, so if anyone needs, you can grab one. And then today is the deadline to submit the congressional challenge application. So if you know of any students in middle school or high school who are interested in designing and creating apps, today would be the last day to submit those. And then also Medicare enrollment, it's open and the deadline is until the 7th of December. So if you know of anyone that needs Medicaid, needs to enroll, please remind them of the deadline. And finally, our office is open from Monday to Thursday from 9 to 5. Our office is at 1231 Lafayette Avenue, Suite L610. If you need anything, please do reach out. Our office number is 718-662-5970. Thank you. Thank you.
The Medicaid enrollment dates again?
It's open now. The deadline is December 7th.
Thank you.
CB1 would like to thank all the elected officials who are still working, even though the government has shut down and they are not getting paid. Thank you. From the New York State Senate, we already heard from the Honorable Serrano, Senator Serrano. Do we have a rep from the Honorable Louis Sepulveda? Sepulveda, none? Okay. Anyone from Honorable Chantel Jackson's office?
None.
None. Honorable Amanda Septimo? Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Whitney Grimat, Chief of Staff for Assemblymember Septimo. It's really wonderful to see all of you. The first thing that I wanted to say is that this came up just as of today. Assemblymember Septimo is partnering with Borough President, Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson to work with food relief organizations and other elected officials from the Bronx to just coordinate efforts and resources to help families in the Bronx navigate the SNAP deficit. So please, we're having a meeting on Monday. Please stay tuned for updates about where you can go if you need access to some sort of relief or distribution. Also, some of you already know this, but in collaboration with Lincoln Hospital and the 3rd Avenue bid, the Assemblywoman has launched a drug-free communities coalition. The purpose of the coalition is to go after, well, the purpose of the coalition, it started out as an effort to go after federal funding to help address all of the drug use that is happening in and around 3rd Avenue. Given all of the funding cuts that we're seeing, we're not sure that it's still an option to fund this initiative through the federal government, but the Assembly member is committed to making sure that this initiative gets funded. This initiative is a little bit different from the other initiatives that are happening in the Bronx to address all of the drug use. This is a community initiative that will require a 10-year plan to come up with data-driven solutions to help us resolve this issue once and for all, rather than constantly peddling the same resources and having this revolving door of drug users, drug use, drug dealing, just all of the pieces of this puzzle that make it such a challenging issue to eradicate. We would love for folks to be involved. Our next meeting is going to happen virtually. It will be on Tuesday. Let me just double check this, I'm so sorry. It's gonna be on Tuesday, November 18th at 2 p.m. and it will be virtual. If you would like to join the mailing list to stay updated on this initiative, if you would like to attend the meeting, please call our office. That number is 718-292-2902. Additionally, if you're not able to attend the meeting, that's okay. We would still love to put you on our mailing list so that as we start coming up with strategies and the plan that we will execute over the next 10 years, we can find a way to involve you, because this is an initiative that's going to take participation from every corner of this community, not just the police, not just the local government agencies, not just the hospitals. We need everybody. Everybody has a role to play. Everybody has a role that they can play.
Thank you so much. Do you want to give us an update on the money that the Assemblywoman was able to secure and will be distributed through Hispanic Federation, Fund for the City of New York, and Catholic Charities? If you want to give this group some details on that.
Yeah, sure. So, the State Assembly awarded, or allocated, $90 million to fund, community groups. The application for this specific pot of money, it's $30 million. The application opened on Tuesday. There's going to be a webinar tomorrow to guide organizations through the application process and help them just understand how to fill out the application, understand the materials that are required of the application, understand how to apply if the organization doesn't have 501c3 nonprofit status, and understand what the actual RFP is, the different types of programming that organizations are eligible to have funded through this initiative. So that webinar is happening tomorrow at 10 a.m. If you need that information, please, again, call our office, and we will call our office in the morning, and we will get that information to you. Again, that number is 718-292-2902.
Could we blast it out through the community board email to the partners in the community?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I can send it.
And I just want to echo that the work that Assemblywoman Amanda Septimo put in to make this happen, you know, it was an incredible work from the proposal from the development of the proposal to, you know, just like getting together with her colleagues, Karen Reyes, also an Assemblywoman here in the Bronx. Both of them created a coalition called Latinos United for Change, where they invited folks from all over New York State to show why funding Latino organizations matter and to show how underfunded historically these organizations have been. So we want to, you know, show a lot of gratitude for that work. And again, we do hope to see that small, medium organizations are applying. Do you have an idea? I can't remember exactly if there is like a cap as to how much money organizations would be able to receive.
So don't quote me on this, but I believe that organizations can apply for up to, it's 30 or 35% of their overall their annual operating budget.
Thank you so much. And again, we're gonna share the information so that we can share with other folks, and thank you so much.
There's one question.
Hello. I'm asking this question because this is very important for everybody to know. We have an environmental justice plan that is supposed to be done probably by December, and we have an industrial plan, a draft plan right now that will have an effect on the infrastructure here in this area. So I just wanted to know, what is your stance regarding the industrial plan? Do you know?
Not at this moment, but I'm happy to check with her and get back to you.
Okay, good. Just to say quickly, right now in the CFCPA in the state, it's supposed to be 70% renewable by 2030. And in New York City, it's 95% fossil fuel. And then the concern would be, for me, I just think for this, is like a lot of this infrastructure to get it more renewable, it will be in our neighborhoods. And we don't want that.
I also just want to say really quickly that our office moved. We're now located at 505 Brook Avenue, right at the corner of, right between 147 and 148, on Brook between 147 and 148. And we're open 9 to 5, Monday through Thursday, and 9 to 4 on Fridays. So anybody is welcome to drop in at any time.
Thank you. Could you get that information to Mr. Jordan about the virtual meeting happening on the 18th, so that those of us on the board who want to attend?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right.
And I have the application, the information for the webinar tomorrow and the community briefing registration. If someone wants to receive it tonight, because I understand it's tomorrow at 10, I'm happy to just like send it now. Okay.
Do we have a representative from the Honorable Brad Lander? None. Honorable Jemima D. Williams? None. Honorable Rafael Salamanca? None. Deputy Speaker Diana Ayala? Yes, Gloria?
Good evening. For the next 2 months, I shall be your representative for the deputy speaker. I will try to take my 30 minutes, so. Our location, our email, and our phone number is on the flyers, they're in the back. Also my cards, any questions or any complaints, if you can't address them now, you can reach out to us. Email works best. That way we start a paper trail with everything that we need to do, and we're able to address your concerns. One of the things that are happening, which is very important, a lot of you got this in the mail. There's some proposals that are at the back of the voting items that are, some of the proposals are not good for us. And this explains everything about those proposals. And in my flyer, there's a flyer with a QR code so you can look up for the tech people. And we have it in English and Spanish. We also have a veterans clinic on November 13th for any veterans that need any help or any assistance. They will be able to go there. And that's it. Any questions or any concerns? We're still located at 214, and the phone number and all the information is here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I-
Mr. Ambrose?
Yes, please. Can you
Yes.
talk about that item that's on that paper? Because sometimes, a lot of time, we need to emphasize on things so people will understand. That voting item you mentioned.
I am not going to, it's in the voter guide. So if you get it in your house, it's called proposals.
No, I'm not talking about myself. I think sometimes if you kind of touch on it, people will, because when a lot of time people go voting, they're just in a hurry to just do and walk away.
What is it that you want me to touch?
No, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the community.
Yes, what would you, the proposals?
Right.
So if you open the flyer and it says, don't be misled, all the information is on the flyer, you can read it, and
All right.
it'll explain everything.
I think to expand a little on what he's saying is like, what would be the effects if you vote no? And what would be the effects if you vote yes? I understand that you guys can't tell us which one to choose, but I think a little more clarity on how it's misleading, because I have the same concern. And I read the book, I actually read
So
it
in the
today.
book, if you read everything that's on there, it will explain the good points and the bad points, and it's up to you to make your choice.
What about for younger children who don't necessarily
Their
understand?
parents can explain it to them, their parents can read it to them and explain it to them.
They don't vote.
They don't vote anyway, it's only for voting adults.
Okay.
Any other questions for Ms. Gloria? None? Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you.
That concludes, anyone from Honorable Darcel D. Clark? No?
None.
Okay, that concludes our elected officials.
Any old business that we need to discuss tonight? Any new business?
Yes.
Yes.
And new members.
Perfect. Okay, so we are very, very excited and eager to welcome each one of our new members this evening. And I just want us to go home with that last piece of good news. So why don't you stand up and introduce yourselves, please?
The new
My name
members?
is Reyes
Oh,
Claudio.
sorry.
That's my name.
Yes.
Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry. I want to make sure everybody's paying attention.
Reyes Claudio.
Reyes Claudia. Nice to meet you.
Reyes is my first name, which is not traditional. I'm born and raised in the Bronx, mom of 6, and I work for a network of charter schools. So hopefully I can dispel some of the myths or be an ally to tell you more information. I'm the chief of staff at Berea Schools.
What motivated you to join the board?
Sure. So I was on this community board right before the pandemic and a little bit during the pandemic. So it was a different experience. But with all the migrant issues and
the issues facing this community. My parents live walking distance from here. I just felt a call and a need to serve and support.
Thank you so much, Reyes. Who's next? Please. Here. Oh, right here, okay. Okay.
Hi, my name is Jadine Buxton. I'm new Community Board 1 member. I'm a John Jay student. What motivated me to join the board initially was I'm interested in community gardens and I feel like they're not accessible to everyone. But also I feel like I'm a New Yorker, born, bred in the Bronx. I moved away upstate and I came back and I feel like the issue is I shouldn't run away from my environment. I should try to change it. So here I am.
Although a little getaway to upstate New York feels nice from time to time, right?
Hi, my name is Laura Aviles. I am a single mom from here from the Bronx. I am a community activist. I'm a TA president, educator, as well as community liaison for the Bronx Heights. And what led me to join is that I already do this fight on my own. And so I felt like being here to be able to actually be right in the middle of the midst of what happens here in the South Bronx and being able to have some type of word to be able to work with other people that care and have passion to fix the Bronx, I felt like I needed to be a part of this.
Did I meet you at the Mitchell houses or am I confusing?
Yes, I am literally everywhere.
Okay.
I wear many, many hats and I'm in many places because you can't just be in one place. Sometimes you need to be in a lot of places to get the work done.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Good evening, my name is Amanda Perez. I was a resident here at Melrose, but my career started here in the South Bronx, whether it was in ministry, in nonprofit, and in government. Now I am the director of the Bronx Heights Family Enrichment Center. I've been coming to these meetings for now like 3 years, and my passion for here, or the reason why I decided to join is because in working with the Bronx Heights, there is this desire for community members who don't even know that this is available to them, that they can come here, that they can be a part of it. And so I wanted to be able to be a member to continue to expose what the community board does and how it is good and how people in these seats want to hear and want to participate with community members who don't come to these meetings all the time to see what the beauty is in the community. It's not about just like fixing the community, but enhancing the beauty that's already here. So that's why I decided to join the community board. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The Bronx Heights is a family enrichment center. We are not a service provider. We are a warm, welcoming, home-like space. And the magic happens when you come into the space and you get to learn and meet new people. The goal is that community members will be able to build new friendships. I'll be fully transparent because I always am. We are funded by ACS. And I like to say that the Family Enrichment Center is one of the ways that ACS is reconciling with a community, particularly this one, that has been historically divided by broken systems. And HYPE stands for helping your people evolve.
Woo-hoo. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amanda. And I can testify to the amazing work that Amanda does, having participated in one of her prom giveaway events, and we hope to do one next year, bigger with the community board and other organizations.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Andres Madrigal. 23 years old, was born in the Bronx. Came back from college recently from upstate New York. So now I've just been wanting to transform my community. I minored in inequality studies, and some things I saw really enlightened me when it came to the youth in our area. Apparently people, not apparently, but people do use drugs and alcohol as a coping mechanism to deal with stress. And to be honest, we do live in a stressful environment. Being in one of the poorest congressional districts in the United States, it tends to bring out the worst. But I know working with hopefully the community board and other activists, we can get more of the youth involved in activities that promote physical and mental health. And yep, just excited to be here. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Okay, so I think that, the ones that are sitting here, we've been in the community board for quite some time now. So we're looking for the new leadership. And this appointment is only for 2 years. And the board president has made it very clear that there's term limits. So we hope that, amongst you, we can find a new replacement for the chair and the leadership in general. So with that, I really want us to think about how we can continue to encourage other community members to join these meetings. As you can see, there's a lot of important information that is shared. Not all of the times is very amicable. Sometimes, there's arguments, heated arguments, but overall, I feel like as community board members and leaders, our role is to convene the conversation amongst with the different stakeholders. And we are only successful if this room is full with people who want to listen, who want to contribute, who want to connect, who want to bring resources and ask the hard questions. So please, 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 we look forward to your input and to your support to bring more members. So good night and thank you so much.
Motion to adjourn,
I make a motion to adjourn.
second? All saying aye? Aye.